What's good? What's good? I'm back. Yours truly, the one and only Paul Pickett, host of the Paul Pickett Podcast, aka Triple P, aka the Common Sense Podcast, your source for music, sports, politics, world events, and more. This is episode 129. Episode 129. We're gonna get into our All NBA selections and NBA award selections as well. Before we get started, let's get a shout out from one of our sponsors.
Me and my team, whenever we link up, they wanna be drink up. We sit down, relax, and have few glasses when there's things to think about. Like I'm nice with the boss when I tend to the boss, and I'm not talking drink puffs. So tell the bartender that's tending the bar to please pass me a big cup up. And tell that waitress that's waiting on us to put a little ice in it. Now watch the ice become weightless like the spaceships that I be sitting in. No wait and listen, no, they're waiting for that tropical twist that'll kick and get taste buds. Now taste some. Yo, I insist it's the Dizzle.
That was Dizzle Brand. Check them out, dizzlebrand.com. Do you dizzle? Yes, I dizzle. That was actually Chip Fu from the Fushnikins doing that Dizzle Brand commercial. And at the end, that was Mike Dizzle, who created Dizzle back in 2001. So go to dizzlebrand.com. You can buy Dizzle Brand merchandise, hats, t-shirts, hoodies. You can also order bottles of the Dizzle. Just go to our locations on dizzlebrand.com. The top 3 links you'll see are online order links, and below that is actually stores that Dizzle is located, mainly through California, Southern California. So check them out, dizzlebrand.com. Follow them on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, Twitter, and more. Let me get into some scores. We're going to pull up some scores real quick. Bear with me real quick. And while I'm doing that, don't forget that the video version of my podcast goes to YouTube, Facebook, Instagram TV, Rumble. Definitely follow on Rumble because the videos are already monetized from day one without needing 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours. And also we'll take the video and stream it live on 3 of the Twitter accounts, which is Twitter at Paul P Podcast, Twitter at Promo Palace LLC, and Twitter at Paul W Pickett. Okay. There's only 2 games left today. We're going to pull up yesterday's scores. Actually, there wasn't no yesterday's score. We'll go with April 10th. April 10th, basically all the teams played on April 10th. Brooklyn beat the Pacers. Cleveland beat Milwaukee. Memphis and Boston wrapped up that number 2. Philly beat Detroit. Chicago beat Minnesota. Dallas doesn't really say much though because they're already out the playoffs. OKC lost to the Clippers. Warriors beat the Pelicans. For example, let's pull up Phoenix. Phoenix probably was literally like not even they're probably not even had none of these starters playing. They're playing McCartan. So, but the standings. All right, so basically everything's set in stone. Miami's the number 1 seed in the East. Boston's number 2. Milwaukee's number 3. Philly's number 4. Toronto's number 5. Chicago's number 6. Then you got Atlanta, Charlotte, Brooklyn, and Cleveland in the play-in tournaments. And Cleveland's got to play Brooklyn. Cleveland could beat Brooklyn, and then Brooklyn could beat the winner of Atlanta or Charlotte. To be honest with you, man, I don't give my Charlotte Hornets any freaking chance, as much as I hate to say that. I mean, I really hate to say that, but I don't give my Charlotte Hornets any chance. On the West, you got Philly at number 1, Memphis at number 2, Golden State's number 3, Dallas number 4, Utah number 5, Denver number 6, and then playing is Pelicans, Spurs, Minnesota, and Clippers. Let me go ahead and give you who I think is going to win these first series that are already set in stone. So we don't know who Boston and Miami and Phoenix and Memphis are going to play, but between Sixers and Toronto, I'm going Sixers. I'm going Bucks over Chicago all day. It's going to be a sweep. It's going to be 4-0 probably. Philly and Toronto will be a lot closer. I'm thinking that's more 6 games. Golden State and Denver. Oh, man. Let me come back to that one. Dallas and Utah. If Luka's hurt, I got Utah. If Luka's playing, I got Dallas. Golden State and Denver, man, that's tough. Jokic has had such a great season. I don't know, man. I want to go Golden State. I'm going to go Golden State. Before I get into any of these all-NBA teams and selections, first things first, man, I want to say rest in peace to Dwayne Haskins. He's 24 years old, one of the quarterbacks for the Steelers, originally drafted by the Washington football team, now Commanders. I want to send my condolences to his family. This really kind of hit home for me when I heard how he died. Like, how he died really, really hit home for me because I was hit by a car like 3 years ago, which I would like to say is a near-death situation because if the lady that hit me with a car, if she would have been going faster or hit me at a different angle, who knows? You know, and even the way she hit me, I could end up having internal bleeding. I basically dislocated my shoulder. You know, I got a scar like across my whole shoulder now. Dislocated my shoulder. Broke my femur, so my leg just basically was turned to the right, and you couldn't even move it. It was just totally unable to walk on it, and I broke every toe in my foot. So I got a screw in every foot. I got a rod in my leg, and I didn't get no metal on my shoulder. But it really hit home, man, for me because I don't know all the story, but apparently he got in a car wreck on the highway, and then he got out the car and was crossing the highway. And the only thing I could probably think of is that he was probably dizzy and lucid. He was probably out of it, you know, from the car wreck. And the highway is already a dangerous spot, you know what I'm saying, to be getting out of your car. You know, like, you got to be very, very careful. Like, you definitely don't. The highway's not a spot you should be opening up your whole door all the way. Like, you probably got to just open it up slightly and then get out because cars be going so fast. But it just really hit home for me because the way he died, he's so young. The dude had a long life ahead of him. He was 20 years younger than me. He died by getting hit by a car. So that really kind of hits home to me, man. Really touches, you know, a certain place in a certain spot because I'm like totally prejudiced against people who don't drive correctly now. I don't care what race they are. If they don't drive correctly, I'm totally prejudiced against people who run stop signs, run red lights. Because I was literally hit crossing the road, and I was like crossed 3.5 lanes before I got hit. I was in the last lane, halfway in the last lane, and then the lady, you know, turned in and hit me. You know what I'm saying? And I definitely didn't get no kind of insurance or anything for it. They definitely didn't fault her, and I don't care when a person hits somebody with a car, man. I mean, it's not the person's fault they got hit by the car. They didn't, unless they just jumped in front of it because they were trying to commit suicide or something. But Dwayne Haskins, I mean, he's had his whole life ahead of him. He was a football player, making bank, was about to compete for the Steelers job. Yeah, this is really sad, man. It just really touches home, hits home that Dwayne Haskins is dead, man. And I'm going to take a shot at Dizzle. I'm normally supposed to throw this on ice, but I'm going to take a shot at Dizzle for Dwayne Haskins. Rest in peace. Rest in peace, man. It's sad. Like when Kobe Bryant went, let me just put this on the table, man. Kobe Bryant was my least favorite basketball player when he was alive. But when he died, I came to embrace and respect and have love for Kobe even more. We were like the same age. And it wasn't just the way he died. This is what really got to me with Kobe Bryant's death. We were the same age, and I looked at all he accomplished. And he had so much more to accomplish in life. That was probably going to be, he could accomplish more than he even accomplished in basketball. That's the thing. And it made me realize I haven't accomplished nothing in life. Even though I've accomplished more than most people in my city. I've accomplished more than most people in my city, especially for my business or what I do. For the music business and the music promotion business, or just music business in general, I'm one of the most successful people in my city. I've done promotion for a lot of old school artists with tons of hit records. I've done promotion for the baby, but even that, I felt like I haven't accomplished nothing yet, and Kobe was going to accomplish so much more. So rest in peace to Dwayne Haskins. My condolences to his family. It's always going to be one that really hits home for me because of the way he died and how young he was, So, all right, let me get into my, I guess at first I'm going to get into my selections. Rookie of the Year selection. For my Rookie of the Year selection, it was tough. I mean, it was between Evan Mobley and Scotty Barnes, definitely. But I went with Scotty Barnes because Scotty Barnes has been pretty consistent all year long. He's been pretty healthy. Evan Mobley got hurt. And Scotty Barnes' team, even though they started out slow, they've been on a incline second half of the season, while the Cavs have been on a decline. And I got to take that in play. Like, Scotty Barnes' team is in the playoffs, and the Cavs, Evan Mobley's team, is in the play-in. And they're both going to have really nice NBA careers and make a shit ton of money. Sixth man of the year, I mean, there's no debate in sixth man of the year. Anybody who has any other selection for sixth man of the year has not been watching basketball not one day this year. Not all year long, not half of the year long, not a portion of the year long. It's clearly Tyler Hero. Clearly Tyler Hero. There's nothing really to debate about that. Defensive player of the year. I got Mikal Bridges. All the metrics, all the numbers say Mikal Bridges. I know people want to go with always these big men like Rudy Gobert and whatnot. It's definitely Mikal Bridges, man. It's Mikal Bridges. MVP. Man, this is tough. And I saw something that might make me change this. So let me come back to this one. Coach of the year, I'm going Bickerstaff for the Cleveland Cavs. Nobody really expected Cleveland to be what they are or what they were most of the season. And if they stay healthy, they'll literally be a fourth seed probably right now. So, yeah, I'm going with Bickerstaff. for Coach of the Year. And most improved, I'm going Darius Garland from the Cleveland Cavs from the same team. MVP is tough. MVP is so tough. It's between three people: Jokic, Embiid, and Giannis. Now, Jokic, yes, he had a record-breaking season, 2,000 points, 1,000 rebounds, and 500 assists. The only player to ever do it, if I'm not mistaken. But Embiid is also the first big man in 20 years since Shaq to lead the league in scoring. And I think he's got more rebounds and more points than Jokic. He's a better three-point shooter. He's hasn't had his number two guy either, like Jokic has it, but Jokic has had might have had a little bit more around him. I think Aaron Gordon has been way more consistent than Tobias Harris this year. Jokic did win it last year. Embiid's team is higher ranked in a tougher conference. They're higher. East is tougher than the West this year. The West, there's only two teams right now that really, really have a legit shot. And that's Phoenix and the Grizzlies, and the Warriors are strong third. But in the East, I mean, you got Miami, you got Milwaukee, you got Boston. We don't know. James Harden gets hot. We got Phoenix. You got a puncher's chance with Brooklyn. Yeah, you got about 4 or 5 teams legitimately in the East that could come out and win it. I'm going with Embiid. I'm going with Embiid this year. Because he's also had to deal with not just the fact that his number two guy not being there, he's had to deal with the media of that lingering over the team. The Ben Simmons not wanting to play. Because that's the thing. Like, Joel Embiid's second player could have played. He's been able to play all year and just chose not to play. Jokic, his second fiddle was hurt. Jamal Murray. He was hurt. It's tough, man, but I'm going with Embiid. I'm going with Embiid for MVP. And I'm gonna tell you what, though, regardless, no matter who wins it, international cats are taking over the game. Giannis back-to-back. If Jokic wins back-to-back, that's 4 years straight with international players dominating the MVP, man. All right, let me get to my All-NBA teams. But before I do that, shout out from one of our sponsors.
Looking for music marketing and promotion? Then look no further than Promo Palace LLC, your one-stop shop for all music promotion services. Services include Spotify playlist pitching, YouTube video promotion, record pool promotion, blog placements, radio airplay promotion, SoundCloud promotion, and much more. With over 2,000 customers and over 10 years of experience in online promotion, Promo Palace LLC is a company you can trust. For more info, please go to promopalace.biz. See you there.
Definitely check us out, promopalace.biz. I own promopalace.biz. I've been doing marketing promotions for over a decade now, over 2,000 customers and clients served. And I've done promotion for tons of legends, Raheem Devon, Lenny Williams. The list goes on. The Baby. It's just so many you can't really name, man. Just so many. All right, so before I get into these All-NBA teams too, don't forget that the audio version of my podcast goes to Spotify, Apple, Amazon, Deezer, TuneIn, Stitcher, Slacker, iHeartRadio, Player FM, and much, much more. Much, much more. All right, so we're going to get into this. My first team All-NBA. First team All-NBA. So I'm going, and I went by positions. There's a lot of people that's going to try to put Jokic and Giannis and Embiid in the top 5 because clearly they're the top 3 players in the league this year. But I went by position. So I got Booker and Luka in the backcourt I got Tatum, Giannis, and Jokic as my forwards. I mean, Tatum literally, his team is number 2 in the East right now. Jokic, 2,000, 1,500. Giannis dominate like he did. Luka got his team at number 4 with hardly nobody on the team. And Booker, even with Chris Paul out, they still been winning games. He's so consistent all year long. Second team, I got Embiid for my center. I got Durant, DeRozan as my forwards. And then I got Ja Morant and Curry. Even though both of those are guards, technically Curry's a 2 guard. And I mean, he's technically a 2 guard. I mean, he's shooting like crazy. He's taking more shots than Klay Thompson, who's the shooting guard. So that's my second team. Embiid, Durant, Ja Morant, Curry, and DeRozan. This third team was really tough. I've seen some people with a third team. I've seen people that actually did not have LeBron making All-NBA this year, which is really, really blasphemy. That a guy that's, not mistaken, top 3 in scoring, 4 in scoring, is not an All-NBA. I understand people want to throw in wins, but do they look at injuries either? So for third team, I dropped it. Third team, I got my guards at Chris Paul and Trae Young. Ice Trae and Chris Paul. I don't think you can argue with that. Then for my forwards, for my center, I got Towns. And for my forwards, I got LeBron. And since Miami was number 1, I had to put somebody for Miami. I went with Butler. Some people probably want to go with Bam, but I went with Butler. I know I've seen where some people have Siakam. And Siakam started out really, really slow earlier this season. Really, really slow earlier this season. And there's no way I could put Siakam over LeBron. I just couldn't do it. And the fact that some people have is just – that just goes to show you that they're just complete LeBron haters. And don't get me wrong. I used to be a diehard LeBron fan. And I'm not nowhere near as big LeBron fan as I am because I started to realize some of his political views and his – world views were just really not, they're really fucked up. He got some couple views that I've seen his view and take on a couple things that I'm like, yo, you're a scumbag if you actually think this. And I can't be a big fan of a scumbag. Anybody who has these scumbagish views or thoughts, I can't really be a big fan of them. Not no more, you know. Let me see. Is there anything else I want to get into? Do I got any topics? No other really big topics whatsoever. But once again, I want to say rest in peace to Dwayne Haskins, man. Really, really, it really does touch home. And when people die this young, so young, and from accidental deaths and stuff like that, it's really, or just natural causes, it's really like heartbreaking, man. It really is. It's really heartbreaking, man. You know, because, I mean, damn, man, 24 years old, man. I mean, you haven't even really experienced much of nothing in life yet at age 24. Like at 24, I was so naive and so ignorant to the world and to how things really work. The way I used to think at 24 is nowhere near the way I think now. Ever since I became self-employed, my mind state is evolved daily, weekly. I don't look at things nowhere near the way I used to. Like I used to think like, yes, there wasn't equal opportunity for everyone. Now, I think in the internet world, in a digital world, I'm really thinking that's bogus. I'm thinking that's bogus now with all these apps like DoorDash, Uber, Lyft, Uber Eats, all these different apps that you could just make money driving people places or delivering food, or there's other apps besides just those as well. And just people could you could start your own business online like I did. Like nobody put any money into my business. I didn't get a loan from the bank. Nobody put no money. Nobody invested no time into this but me. I invested all the money, all the time, all the dedication, all the blood, sweat, and tears through the last 10 years. And I've built up a steady client base where I get sales typically every day, if not every other day. I mean, I've got days where I get $1,000 worth of sales, or $200, $300, $400, $500 worth of sales. It varies, but it's so steady. And then I'm able to try to focus on other things and build other brands and businesses up. My music's monetized. My podcast is monetized. I do music promotion. I'm working on getting my t-shirt business off the ground. And I also do promotions for, of course, Dizzle, which I don't make money off of Dizzle. But Dizzle, this right here, this is potentially a $200 million business that I've been part of from day one, sacrificing some of my time and not expecting no money up front, because a good friend and mentor of mine owns 33% of Dizzle. And, I pretty much believe in not just him as my mentor and friend. I believe in this product strongly, and I'm not a drinker at all. I am nowhere near being a drinker. I am the most casual drinker you'll ever meet, but I've drank a lot of different things in my life. I'm 44 years old, and I will say that this is one of the most flavorful liquors I've ever drank, because most liquors taste like shit. They call it Henny and a Coke for a reason, because Henny without Coke tastes like shit. Paul Masson, which is my rap name, which is Poor Man's Brandy, which I have a bottle of that too. It tastes like shit. You don't mix it with Coke. It tastes like pure shit, And once you drink it, you got to chase it with Coke or something. But Dizzle, you just throw it on ice. It's one of the first drinks that I've ever really drank that I just throw it on ice and it's good to go. And I've mixed it with a few different things as well, like V8 Splash and Minute Maid. Tropical Punch goes good so well. It actually goes decent with like Sprite, so it probably would go good with ginger ale as well. Not no dark sodas, but like the light sodas, the clear sodas. So yeah, I strongly believe in Dizzle. And Dizzle is a black-owned business. A black-owned business. This was created in 2001, and they just got it off the ground. Like, it's last year sometime started pushing Dizzle. We're probably 7-8 months into really as Dizzle being bottled as an actual liquor to sell. To be actually bottled, it's about 7, maybe 8 months total in 20, 30 something stores, online order links, got hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people following the brand already. Just got picked up in 5 new states. We got a show this weekend for Dizzle in Kansas City at a daiquiri joint. And the flyers, you can check it out on Facebook. Look up Dizzle Brand or Dizzle Brand LLC, and you'll see the flyer for the daiquiri shop in Kansas City. They actually own one, and my bad, it's in Overland Park, but they own one in Kansas City and Overland Park, which is Kansas City, Missouri, and Overland Park, Kansas. Overland Park, Kansas, and Kansas City, Missouri, and they're literally right like 20, 30 minutes from each other. It's like as soon as you cross over the border, the other one's there, So, yeah, man, life is what you make it nowadays, man. A lot of people don't have no ambition. They ain't got no goals. It's like Denzel Washington said, they're just dreamers. Dreams without goals are just dreams. They have no realistic goals. They don't set no kind of goals. I've always known that I wanted to work for myself. And no, I didn't plan on getting into the music business. I evolved into that. Evolution just took over. But once I started making money off of it and I seen I could continuously make money off of it, I was like, this is what I got to do. And even when I started out with targeted Twitter followers and the software I was using had an API issue, I had to instantly evolve, or I was going to be out the business overnight. If I didn't go from targeted Twitter followers to doing every other social media platform possible, my business would have completely failed overnight because I was relying on one software to do all my targeted Twitter marketing at first. And it was all real and organic, and the software was amazing. Amazing. Best targeted Twitter software on the planet until they had API issues and they could never recover. And then I instantly had evolved to not just doing targeted Twitter follows, but I had to do Facebook, and YouTube at the time, and kind of go into some of the streaming platforms like SoundCloud and things of that nature. And then Spotify got popular, TikTok and Instagram. Then I started attaching all of those. Then you had a press release and blogs and record pools and DJs, and to where now I'm a one-stop shop. SEO, whatever it is. I do my own SEO. I do my own advertising. I do everything myself. And if I don't know how to advertise and promote, then how the hell do all these people find me and come to my business buying advertising and promotion services? If I didn't know how to advertise and promote, then these people wouldn't be finding me. But the fact that they're finding me lets you know that I know how to advertise and promote. I got artists submitting music to me every single day by the hundreds. If I didn't know how to advertise and promote, I would not have that. At this point, I don't have to go after clients and customers. I don't really have to advertise and promote at this point. It's because I got hundreds of people submitting music every single day that I could pitch services to. And I only need a percentage of those. That's how the business world works. You only try to get, anywhere from 10% or more to buy into what you're doing. For every 100 people, I just need, 5 to 10 people to buy a service and to continue to buy a service. All right, let me get into another commercial before I leave out of here. Only Paul Pickett, host of the Paul Pickett Podcast, a.k.a. Triple P, a.k.a. the Common Sense Podcast, your source for music, sports, politics, sport events, and more. Please check me out 3 to 4 days a week on my video podcast on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and Rumble. And check out the audio version on Spotify, Apple, Amazon, Deezer, TuneIn, Stitcher, Slacker, iHeartRadio, Player FM, and much more. Peace. See you there. Of course, that was the Paul Pickett Podcast commercial, which I am advertising right now. So check me out, of course, on all those platforms that they name. No need to repeat them. Once again, I want to thank y'all for tuning in. This is episode 129 of the Paul Pickett Podcast. Peace.